After you watch this video, you're never gonna buy a card again. And I know that's an incredibly bold claim, but I'm never gonna buy a card again. So let me walk you through how I got here. I found myself often in this situation where I was going to a friend's birthday party and last minute I realized I need a card. So I'd run down the street to the cutest little shoppy shop and try to find something, and it'd be like $6 or $8 or whatever. That was fine, but it just felt like this habit, basically just as a cultural norm, felt like kind of a waste of money for something that was just going to be thrown away. And I felt like there had to be a better way. And then I thought, hey, I'm a crafty little bitch. I could probably figure this out. And so I found linocut printmaking and I've become obsessed. So over the past couple of years, I've been making a lot of cards through this method, and I am by no means an expert. This is an entire field of study, craft, art form. People devote their careers to this. I am not that. I am just a random girl who bought the cheapest kit she could find and started trying. And so I want to show you how to do linocut printmaking from that perspective. And I truly believe once you get into this, you're going to love it. I've made Christmas cards in this way. I've made birthday cards. Actually, this video is in honor of my birthday season. Shout out to all my Aries out there. But you guys already knew I was an Aries because I have a YouTube channel. To get the creative juices flowing, I'm going to show you a few of the prints I've made so far. This was my very first one. Nothing too special, but it got me started. Then I made this bangin' cabbage that I found on Pinterest. Many of these stamp designs are not my original creations, but are inspired by things I saw on Pinterest, which is a great place to go if you're not sure where to start. I'll link and credit any and all design inspo I can find. And to be clear, I'm not selling these. I'm just giving them away to my silly little friends. But some of these folks online are selling prints if you want to purchase them, so check that out. You can also create simple repeating stamps, which opens up a ton of possibilities. These can be a little trickier to print because every print needs to line up just right. This one here, the sardine, is a fun example of a pretty trendy motif right now. And of course, I had to do something birthday themed. The cherry heart cake felt right. I also experimented with a quilt style layout. I think I'll revisit this in the future and fill in different sections of another stamp to create an interesting layered effect. I tried this spaghetti on the fork thing and I don't think my skill level's there yet, but you can make stamps like this. So you don't need to fill up the entire block. You can just make an individual stamp. These are some of the types of designs you can make with linocut. So what is linocut printmaking, you ask? Well, the quick and dirty of what this is, essentially you're buying like a giant eraser. You're carving into it with a carving tool that has different interchangeable tips, and then you're carving out the negative space so that when you roll some ink onto it and press paper down, you get this beautiful block print. I'm gonna walk you through what you need, how to do it, and all of the learnings I've had along the way. But before we get into that, I wanna touch on the sponsor of today's video, which is Skillshare. Huge shout out to Skillshare for being an early sponsor of the Lauren Makes YouTube channel. You guys are sick. Skillshare is a platform where real people, artists, and practitioners share their work through courses, and the courses are genuinely fantastic. While preparing for this video, I took a few different linocut, like block printing Skillshare classes, and this one's my favorite. Shout out to them. You get win the Lauren Makes Linocut Printmaking Class Award. Not only can you take these classes, but if you scroll down on the page, you can actually sign up for a one-on-one session with the instructor and get feedback on your work, which I think is very unique in an asynchronous online learning environment and an incredible way to like connect and really level up this new creative hobby. The first 500 people who use a link in the description or the QR code on the screen will get a free month of Skillshare. What is to lose? Skillshare is an amazing place to learn a new creative skill or pick up a new hobby. So if you're looking to reconnect with your creativity and maybe avoid brain rot, Skillshare is a place where you can learn from other humans. Très chic. Let's talk materials. This is a pretty bare bones setup for linocut. On the carving side, we'll need a block to carve. I like that their size is comparable to the cards I'm making, so it's easy to line things up without a proper press. Then you'll need a carving tool. I don't think there's any way around this. You can buy one like this with interchangeable tips. Some of the tips you can scoop out large, wide, flat areas. Some are a very narrow point. On the printing side, you'll need a roller or brayer and somewhere to roll your ink out. I took this out of a picture frame and it does not have sharp edges, which is great. That's a good option for something to roll out on. And then the ink itself. So this is the Speedball water-soluble ink. And I did try this with acrylic paint. It does not work. It dries way too fast. And finally, you'll need paper to print on. I like to use these cards that I buy in bulk with matching envelopes. It just makes the whole thing look pretty professional. I've also done block printing with this sort of fuzzy, more handmade paper, and I found it does a really good job leaving the print and not shifting. If you're just getting started and you don't want to generate a lot of seconds, then this could be a good thing. If you don't know what seconds are, I'm jealous of you. You probably have a pretty peaceful life. Seconds are basically whoopsies that are almost close enough, but you just get like a little glob of ink somewhere it's not supposed to go. When you're printing, you will generate a good amount of seconds. This colorful paper that I got, it's slippery. When I print on this, it often shifts and creates seconds. So buyer beware. Let's design a card from start to finish. I'm going to design a card that has 2 champagne flutes cheering cannot be right. It's gonna look something like this. I found this Adobe stock image that I'm gonna use as reference. Nobody sue me. Let's go for it. So I normally just freehand these onto the block. If you're gentle to start, you can erase the block as well. You know, when you're traveling, you learn cheers in other languages and then it's like fun to say during the trip. Well, growing up, my family would say kippis like every time, and I didn't really understand what that was. I thought that was like some weird thing we made up, but turns out it's just Finnish. That's cheers in Finnish. So let me know what weird way your family says cheers. Put in the comments, and I can do some citizen statistics on it. So it really can be kind of caveman-esque. I mean, this is all based on personal style, and I kind of like the style where it looks like a block print. Everything's kind of high on the page, so I'm gonna add some text below that says cheers to kind of like balance it out. For text, you're gonna wanna trace it. 100% of the time, please trace it. So I'm gonna get some butcher paper, because I don't know anyone who can actually write normally in a mirror image. Okay, so this is, I think I went a little too big. Classic block letter problem is you go way too big. That's like John Mulaney. Giant B. I'm gonna try again with smaller letters. All right, and then you just quite literally flip it over, rub it on, and then you can clean up the letters a little bit. So now all you have to do is carve. And the carving step is the longest step by far, so settle in. If you've never done linocut before, I would go in a section like this and just practice a few strokes to kind of understand what it feels like. You want your angle to be relatively low. If you dig in like this, it's a little intense. It's like tennis, you gotta just swing the racket, you know? You gotta get a feel for it. Don't be scared. This is fun. And your first one's gonna be a little weird, okay? They're all gonna be a little weird. I like to go in with my finest, pointiest carving option first and do all of the fine line work. And then as time progresses, I'll come in with larger tools to just clear out more of this massive area. The thing about carving is there is no backsies. There's no Control-Alt-Delete. There's no Control-Z. So you do have to be thoughtful while you're doing it. Maybe start with the hardest part in case you do have to scrap it, because you can't put the shavings back in the block. I think there's gonna be places where it's still too high and I need to bring it down, but the best way to figure out where those places are is just to make your first print, and then it will become painfully obvious. I went a little maybe too light on the ink, but I actually love it. I was a little worried we were gonna have to come up with a contingency plan for getting rid of the letters because I wasn't sure they were neat enough, but honestly, I think they look cool. So it's really obvious. There's like a blob here we need to take care of. There's some around the letters. After you've cleaned things up a bit, it's time to really get printing. This is a lot like making pancakes, meaning it's best to make a handful and the first couple are not going to turn out that nicely. You just need a little bit of ink. This is a nice amount to get started, and then you'll just mix it together. And what you really want is this sort of thin, tacky layer of ink. You can actually hear it. So boys and girls, let's get quiet and listen to the ink. See, that's a nice level of tackiness.
You're tacky and I hate you.
You're tacky and I love you. So we'll roll the ink out onto our block. We'll make sure we do the print on the correct side of the card because nobody wants a backwards card. I like to press it down firmly and then just keep going. You can add ink as it dries out, but I find that when the ink's a little bit tacky, it works the best. And now I have a bunch of cards again, just like that. I love this hobby because every time you pick a new design or you try a new style or you pick the color that you're going to ink with, it just is a creative choice. And sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't, but it feels low stakes and creative and fun, comes together pretty fast. I will say when you give these to people, be warned because they will be charmed, okay? So cheers! Cheers everybody, kippis, okay? Happy New Year, whatever. Happy Lunar New Year. Missed that one. Happy start of the astrological calendar. And let me know what you say for cheers, if it's not cheers. Please.